Ladies and gentlemen, the New Brunswick Independent Authors Association is proud to have numerous dedicated members, and one of these is Joan Blake Savoie, our good friend, who is a native of Black Point, New Brunswick. Now, she's been a published author she did a nonfiction book several years ago about her backyard rink in her home community that was created by her father, Allison Blake. But now she's getting into a short story publication, and she's putting together a book of her short stories. Now, one of the characters in these short stories is a very affectionate look at someone called Harley. Now, this excerpt will cover some of the story of Harley, and in this situation, Harley ends up coming under concern from his friends in the book. Cupping my hands around my mouth, I called out, "Harley, where are you?" I listened for a response. Silence. I heard only the sound of the wind in the trees and the distant echo of my own voice. Where could the old man be this time? I thought aloud. With Harley, we could never be too sure. This past year, the disappearing had become more frequent. People started to talk. Old Harley's losing control of his senses, some would say. Others said, maybe it's time he moved from his old shack. How could he say that about Harley? He lived his own life, never bothering others with his problems, and lately I think he just had too many things on his mind for us to understand. Even though the people talked about Harley, they cared for him, and every time he disappeared, the neighbors organized a search party. This had become a custom. I am not sure why, because he always came home. Sometimes it would be a week or more, but eventually he'd come back. One time Harley went missing for 8 days, and on that occasion, they called in the local forest rangers to help find him. People thought something had gone wrong. Maybe he was hurt, lost, or kidnapped. Who knows what went through the mind of the villagers? The story grew out of control. It was the first time he'd been away for that length of time, and people were concerned. With the numbers who turned out to join in the search, they found him all right, between a few bales of hay in the neighborhood's barn, sleeping off the effects of his home-brewed whiskey. This time was different. Harley had been drinking heavily for 3 weeks, with no stopping, and this was not his style. Oh yes, he liked to drink, but never for such a length of time. People were saying he had good reasons to drink. The government had taken away Harley's fishing license for cod and salmon. They also placed a ban on fishing lobster in the bay. Fishing was Harley's life. It's all he knew. Drinking became his escape from the reality that set in when he found himself sitting looking out over the still waters instead of loading his boat with nets at the start of the fishing season. Maybe this time the neighbors were right. Harley could be in trouble. Bud and I decided to join the search party. We had known Harley since we were kids. He was someone we looked up to, and he sure taught us a great deal about growing up in a place that suffered from economic depression. This was our third day searching for old Harley, and we were getting tired. He had us stumped. Where was he hiding, or was he hiding? We had been searching the fields and wooded area around Harley's shack since early morning and found nothing. Now with the noon sun burning up the sky, the day was starting to get really hot. I had packed a few beers in my knapsack and figured we were due for a rest break. Bud quickly agreed. He was always ready to take a break. We found a large shade tree and lay down. Bud, I said, if you were in old Harley's boots, where would you go to sleep off the effects of the potent drink he makes? Potent drink, you say, Jake? I guess it's potent. Have you ever tried it? Bud had a twinkle in his eye. Can't say as I have, but I can tell you from your smile you've shared a few with old Harley, I said with a chuckle. You're right. If I were him now, I'd go far away, where no one can find me. Anyway, Harley's not stupid. I'm sure he's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that was an excerpt from Joan Blake Savoie's upcoming short story collection, including on her character Harley, an affectionate look of growing up in a portion of New Brunswick, trying to battle personal, economic, and other demons. We hope you enjoyed it. Joan can be found on the New Brunswick Independent Authors Association Facebook site by invitation only. She's also on Facebook, and her book, The Backyard Rink, A Daughter's Memory, is available on various online platforms. It is out of print, but there will be another print run, according to Joan, very, very soon. We're proud to have her in the association, and we appreciate you listening today. If you like this podcast, please contact Joan or leave a like or a comment on my podcast channel, JJ Governor Corey. Please come back for frequent updates on the members of the New Brunswick Independent Authors Association and my own personal podcast uploads. We hope to find you well. Happy Raptor Day in Canada if you're watching the parade. Bye.